got the first question. What is the status of Jaden Daniels? God, I read your minds. That's amazing how I can do that. He practiced again today, so he will most likely pass the protocol, and I would say that he is probable for Saturday.
With Jaden just going through all that this week, has his normal prep that he does, all the VR and the film study, has he been able to maintain that this week, even going through protocol?
I think most of the things that he normally does within his preparation, he's been able to, I think, prepare in the manner that he feels comfortable and we feel comfortable, or we wouldn't put him out there. Garrett's too good of a quarterback for us to compromise the offense in any way.
Yeah, Coach, Graham Mertz obviously comes over from Wisconsin. Just what have you seen from him and how he's playing and his efficiency and how he runs the offense?
Yeah, very comfortably. I think that's the thing. The offense fits him very well. I've said this a few times now. He's completing at about a 75% clip, which is, obviously highly efficient. I think the offense just really fits him well. He just looks comfortable back there within the structure of the offense, and he's been really good this year. He came out of high school. I recruited him and thought he was an outstanding player coming out of high school. Thought highly of him, and I don't know whether it was a system fit or whatever it was at Wisconsin. Maybe didn't have the kind of career that he might have wanted, but he's certainly living up to the expectations that I saw for him coming out of high school.
Just building off that a little bit, obviously he's very efficient in the short and intermediate routes. They have a great 1-2 punch at running back as well. Just I would assume that a lot of the defensive stuff this week was about third downs, and just what's the key, I guess, with getting off the field on third down this weekend?
Yeah, well, they've kept it very manageable on third down. I think that's probably the key is, getting them behind the chains. They're really good at keeping it, third and manageable. So getting them into 3rd and 7 or more is really what is going to be important for us. First down's really important for us. So, those key downs, P and 10, 1st and 10, starting the series off is going to be important for us to get them into 3rd and long.
Brian, when it comes to Matt House, he's talked about in the past how multiple he likes to be defensively. And it seems like early in the season he also wanted to be before maybe simplifying at some point. Has he been kind of limited in any way in what he would like to be calling in terms of the variety of the scheme?
Well, certainly, we've had some injuries, some key injuries. Mekhi Wingo was a very versatile player for us that could play both a 5 technique and a shade, and that gives you the versatility to play both 4 down and 3 down. He was an extremely versatile player for us. The other things that obviously affect that, certainly the safety depth, where, you have to be very careful in the cornerback position. So, there have been some limitations that you try then to look to put your 11 best players on the field. And so is it 3 down linemen? Is it 4 down linemen? You look at, what's the best thing for us relative to the defensive structure that matches the best 11 players. And so sometimes you lose the flexibility when you have to look at it in that regard. And that's kind of what we had to do, and settle on a defensive structure that allowed our guys to play fundamentally fast and sound, and maybe give up a little bit of that flexibility.
Ryan, have you gotten a response from the SEC about the play where Jaden got hurt, that call?
Yeah, they felt like that the play did not reach their definition of targeting.
What What did it lack? Or do you know? did they just tell you that?
No, sometimes, I'll give you an example. The tackle by Harold that was called a horse collar tackle, and the tackle on Jaden that was not a horse collar tackle. Both were tackled by the back of the collar. But then there are semantics after that change whether it's horse collar, or change semantics after whether that's targeting. So you can get hit in the face, but semantics would change whether that's targeting. You can get grabbed by the back of the collar, but semantics then would change whether that's a horse collar tackle. So, I mean, it's hard for me really to comment, because when it's explained, there's an explanation to, yes, he was hit in the head and neck area, which is a criteria, but these things happen, so it's not. This was a horse collar, but this didn't happen, so it's not. So in those instances, I'm left to say it's open to interpretation in those instances, whether those are fouls or not, and we just have to move on.
It seems to me that semantics, as you said, could explain a lot of things. That they could find justification for a lot of things for a call if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are conversations for after the season, because I think we've gotten into layers and layers and layers of semantics with fouls, and it's really muddying, what a foul is and what is not a foul. So I think we're really going to have to do a good job of clarifying what a foul is, because I don't know what a foul is anymore, and what is clearly. And so we're just going to we'll have to wait till the end of the season and have further conversations about those things.
You talked a little bit about this after the game, but how did the guys respond, I guess, in practice this week after a tough loss, just with the focus level and all that stuff that kind of goes into winning a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a football team that's in a position to win 10 games. I mean, that's an envious position. There's not a lot of teams that have that opportunity. So. When people say there's not a lot to play for, I mean, there's a lot to play for. And it's another step towards, building the foundation of this football program towards consistency and performance. So, yeah, I know there's not a national championship at the end of this, but there's consistency and performance, for this football team, and that is closing out this season, and then finishing off strong with a victory in postseason.
Hey, Coach, up here. So after some of those freshman corners got their chance in a really big game against Alabama, how do you think they've responded after that? And what have you seen from them in practice this week, going up against Florida, getting another shot at that?
Yeah, I mean, they're excited about their opportunity. They're locked in. They are absorbing all of the information. But we have to be careful not to put them in positions where it would have required a lot of experience to know these things, right? Like, hey, you should have known that. Well, I've played 2 games, in the SEC. So they've done a really good job of stepping in as true freshmen and competing. But we have to help them and making sure that we put them in a good position to succeed.
Coach, is there anyone else on the injury report other than Jaden, or is that it?
Not that I'm aware of. Logan Diggs. I would say that he is. I would put him as questionable going into Saturday. He was in a red jersey today, non-contact. We'll see how he responds tomorrow.
Lower body injury?
He had an upper body injury. Yep.
While you've been on the recruiting trail, is there an aspect of sort of recruiting North Louisiana that has been a pleasant surprise to you, or has sort of jumped out to you when you're recruiting those players up in the north?
Good football. I think I was indoctrinated to northern Louisiana as an area that we had not been aggressively recruiting for some reason. And again, I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I was, indoctrinated into Louisiana recruiting. So I've been up there several times, and there's really good football, great coaching, really good players, and state champion teams up there. Our recruiting coordinator, our head of recruiting, J.R. Benton's from there, so I hear about it every day. So northern Louisiana is going to be recruited vigorously because of that. Good. All right. Thank you.